Why do some people choose silence while others never stop talking? Is it shyness or a sign of deeper intelligence? In this video, we'll explore the psychological, social, and behavioral reasons why highly intelligent people often speak less. And you'll see that silence is far from a weakness. It can be the mark of a mind that thinks before it reacts, and of wisdom that knows silence can speak louder than 1,000 words. 1. They observe before they act. Smart people have a sharp ability to read social situations. Before speaking, they take a step back, analyze the dynamics, and assess the emotions at play. This patience gives them a broader, more nuanced understanding. They prefer to listen carefully rather than force their presence into a conversation. They know the first few minutes of an interaction are telling who dominates, who's trying to impress, who's really listening. Example, in a professional meeting, a bright person won't interrupt. They'll take notes, observe reactions, and then speak with a concise comment that moves the discussion forward. What about you? Do you tend to observe or jump in quickly? Share your experience in the comments. 2. They understand the power of words. Words can heal, but they can also wound. That's why intelligent people practice restraint. They avoid unnecessary talk, empty promises, and impulsive judgments. They know every word matters. They speak less, but choose their words carefully. Their language is often simple, direct, but meaningful. Example, instead of saying, "I'm angry," they might say, "I'm disappointed by this situation," a nuance that completely changes how the message is received. Have you ever regretted a poorly chosen word? Or said something meaningful in just a few words? 3. They listen to understand. Intelligence often shows through one's ability to listen. Smart people listen with empathy and curiosity, without rushing to reply or win the argument. They're truly interested in what the other person is saying. They know that deep conversations are born from mutual respect. By asking open-ended questions, they create space for shared reflection. Example, when a friend talks about a problem, they don't jump to give advice. They ask questions first to understand the emotional context. Do you think authentic listening is underrated today? 4. They avoid pointless conflicts. Jumping into every debate is exhausting and often useless. Intelligent people don't need to be right all the time. They know some arguments only lead to frustration. They choose silence as a strategy to de-escalate. That doesn't mean they avoid confrontation, but they understand that some truths don't need to be forced on others. Example, when faced with a provocative comment, they stay calm. They're silenced to SARMs. And when they do respond, it's measured and hard to refute. Do you know when it's better to remain silent than to respond? What results have you seen? 5. They have a rich inner life. Smart people often have an extremely dense inner world. They spend time thinking about their decisions, emotions, and goals. Their thoughts are organized, sometimes complex, and oriented toward growth. This utter silence is an emptiness, but constant internal movement. It reflects an active mind that doesn't speak just to be heard, but to understand deeply. Example, after an intense event, they often choose introspection over reaction. They write, meditate, or take a walk to process the experience. What are your habits for exploring your inner life? 6. They know speaking can reveal too much. In a world where every word can be recorded, shared, and misinterpreted, caution is a sign of intelligence. Smart people don't reveal everything, especially in sensitive contexts. They know silence can be a shield against manipulation or premature judgment. It gives them an aura of control, mystery, even quiet strength. Example, in a job interview or a negotiation, they let silence stretch. This often pushes the other person to speak more and sometimes reveal valuable information. Have you ever used silence as a strategic tool? How did it work for you? 7. They acknowledge their limits. True knowledge comes with humility. Intelligent people admit what they don't know. They're not afraid to say, "I don't know," because they see every gap as a chance to learn. By not talking to fill their ego, they gain credibility. Their silence often signals intellectual maturity. Example, in a complex debate, they prefer to listen to experts, ask questions, and expand their understanding rather than pretend they know everything. When have you chosen silence over pretending to know? 8. They avoid snap judgments. Smart people think in shades of gray. Before forming a conclusion, they observe, compare, and weigh different perspectives. Their silence gives them the time to build solid reasoning. They know snap judgments are human, but clinging to them out of pride is a deeper mistake. Example, in the face of controversy, they step back. They don't rush to post online. They wait for facts, read multiple sources, then form a nuanced opinion. Can you pass judgment in a world that pushes us to react instantly? 9. They value depth over volume. Talking for the sake of it doesn't interest them. They seek meaningful exchanges, honest dialogue, and conversations where ideas are built together. Their silence filters out the noise. They speak only when it adds value, inspires, or advances the discussion. Example, they avoid small talk at social events, but when they find someone to talk deeply with, they engage fully. What's the most memorable conversation you've had? What made it special? 10. They use silence as a language. Silence is an art. It can express agreement, anger, thoughtfulness, or compassion. It can emphasize what came before or what's about to follow. Smart people use silence as an active part of communication. They know a strong look, a well-placed pause, or a quiet smile can be more impactful than a long speech. Example, in nonverbal communication, they master silence to create emotional space, to highlight key ideas, or to simply allow the other person to exist fully. Have you ever felt the power of silence? Share that moment with us. Talking less doesn't mean you're weak, shy, or distant. It can be a sign of awareness, control, and psychological maturity. Smart people don't seek to shine with noise, but with clarity, relevance, and impact. If you've recognized yourself in these points, congratulations, your silence is a strength. And now a simple question. Does this sound like you? If so, just write yes in the comments. Subscribe to Mental Active for more insights into human psychology. See you soon.